Welcome to Lesson 5 of Wittenberg Academy's Latin 1 course, where today we'll be using both our books, First Year Latin as well as Wheelock's Latin. And today we are on Lesson 5. We're on page 15 in First Year Latin. Our second week takes us through 5 lessons, lessons 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. But a lot of these are review, and then things will begin to move more swiftly this week. So again, if this week seems very challenging and there's a lot to learn, keep in mind that throughout the course we have built in several review weeks where we will not be learning new material. So this week is our first heavy week. We have 5 lessons, a lot of forms to memorize, a lot of vocabulary to learn. Just try to keep up with that, and we'll go from there. So, page 5. This is a review of the form we learned last week, the first declension endings. So let's say those endings together. A, I, arum, is, as, is. Very good. And here we see it with a new noun, agricola, which means farmer. So let's read the whole paradigm together now. Agricola, agricolae, agricolae, agricolum, agricola, agricolae, agricolarum, agricolis, agricolas, agricoles. Very good. Some new vocabulary on the top of page 14. Learn the meaning and decline like agricola. So we have aqua, repeat, aqua. Columba, fabula, insula, pirata, poeta. Now you'll notice here these are first declension nouns, and almost all first declension nouns are feminine in gender, but we have here a few masculine nouns of the first declension. So for example, look, aqua has a little F after it. That means it's feminine. Aqua is feminine in Latin. Columba, dove, is feminine. Fabula is also feminine, a fable or a story. Insula is feminine, it's an island. But now we have 2 words that are masculine, even though they have these endings that look feminine. Pirata for pirate, and poeta for poet. And the first one we learned on the bottom of page 13, agricola is masculine, it means farmer. And several of these nouns that are occupations, pirata, poeta, agricola, pirate, poet, farmer, they'll be in the first declension, but they'll be masculine. Let's decline one of these. Let's go with aqua. So we're going to go through aqua, but we're going to give all the different endings. So let's begin with the nominative singular aqua. Aqua, aquae, aquae, aquam, aqua, aquae, aquarum, aquis, aquas, aquis. And you should be able to do that for each one of these. And as you practice, that might be another way to help you practice the endings, is not only to say the endings, I, arum, is, as, is, but also to practice them with pirata, piratae, piratae, piratum, pirata. Okay. Section 4, English derivatives are clear enough. We don't need to go through that. But look at exercise 5A. Give the Latin equivalent. So we'll ask one of my students here today, Anastasia, how would you put of pirates into Latin? Do you know? What case do we translate with of? Do you know? Genitive. Very good. The genitive is translated with of. So that's something that we learned last week. So if you'll turn back to page 10. So turn back to page 10 in First Year Latin. And remember, nominative is the case of the subject. So I saw him, I is the subject of the sentence. It would be in the nominative. Or with the words we're using today, the pirate saw him, that would be pirata. You would use the nominative. If you wanted to say of the pirate, though, you would use the genitive, piratai. If you wanted to say to or for the pirate, you would use the dative, piratai. If you wanted to say I saw the pirate there is the direct object, so you would say I saw piratum. And the ablative, if you wanted to say from or by the pirate, the ship was sunk by pirates, you would say piratis, ablative plural. So as the word changes its use in the Latin sentence, it's going to change in case. So of pirates would be genitive plural. What's your ending for genitive plural? Arum. So piratarum is of pirates, piratarum. So four doves. Silas, how do we translate four? What case was that? Nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, or ablative? Four. Dative. Dative is correct. So four doves is plural. So the word for dove is columba. Columba. And what ending is the dative plural ending, Anastasia?
Columbi.
Nope. Columbi would be nominative plural. What's the dative plural ending? The dative plural ending. Is. Very good. So this would be columbis, four doves. To the farmer. What case do you want to the farmer to be in? If you need to look on page 10. Which case do you use to give the idea of indirect object, or to the farmer? Dative. So to the farmer, dative singular. So what is that form? Dative singular. Right, the ending is I, so it's agricolae. Okay? To a farmer. Is that any different? No. To the farmer in Latin is the same as to a farmer. Agricolae, agricolae. Right? With water. What case do you use to express that idea? With something, with water.
Ablative.
Ablative, very good. So how do you say with water in Latin?
Aqua.
Aqua, with the long at the end for the ablative, aqua. Stories as the object. What case gives you the object? He told stories. What case is the object in Latin?
Accusative.
Accusative, very good. So accusative plural for stories. How do you say that in Latin? He told stories. Fabulas. Very good. Fabulas. Stars as the subject. What case is the subject of the sentence? The stars are shining. What case?
Nominative.
Nominative, and it's plural, obviously. So what's that going to be? Stellae. Very good. Nominative plural. Nominative plural ending is I, stellae. For the pirate. What case do you use for for? Look on page 10.
Dative.
Dative, very good. For the pirate. So what will that be? Piratai. Very good. Piratai. And for pirates? Piratis. Very good. Give the form indicated with the meaning. Give the genitive singular of pirata. Silas, what's the genitive singular of pirata?
Piratai.
Piratai. Very good. And what does it mean? How do we translate the genitive? What does it mean? Anastasia, you want to help?
Of the pirate.
Of the pirate. Okay, Silas, give the genitive singular of columba.
Columbi.
And what does it mean? Genitive singular of Columbi. What does that word mean?
Of the dove.
Of the dove. Very good. So Silvae, of the forest. Stellae, of the star. Dative. Anastasia, what's the dative plural of aqua? Aquis. And what does it mean?
Of the water.
Not of the waters. That would be genitive. Dative plural.
For the water.
To the waters or for the waters. So poeta, the dative plural would be poetis, for the poets, to the poets. Insula in the dative plural would be insulis, to the islands, for the islands. Pecunia, the dative plural would be pecuniis, so that double I sound, pecuniis, for the money, to the monies. Nominative plural of fabula. Silas, what's the nominative plural of fabula?
Fabulae.
Fabulae, very good. And it just means the fables will be the subject of the sentence. So, stellae, mensae, agricolae. And then the ablative plural, Anastasia, of silva would be silvis. And it would mean, what does the ablative mean? From, by, or with the forests. Very good. Agricolis, from, by, or with the farmers. Poetis, from, by, or with the poets. Femina, from, by, feminis, feminis, from, by, or with the women. So, for this lesson, you need to just, you don't need to make any new flashcards except for vocabulary. You don't need to make a new card of Agricola unless you want to for practice, because you already have that card with the endings that we learned in lesson 4 with Silva. So you need to make new cards for the vocabulary in this lesson and practice your endings and review, especially on page 10, what each case does. And maybe go back and watch this video again and see how we did the exercises in section 5A and B. We're not going to do the optional part on geography because the map didn't print very well in this book, and you can learn the geography of Rome after you learn how to talk to Romans by learning Latin. This does it for lesson 5. After you get some practice, review your vocabulary, you can go right on to lesson 6, probably the same day that you do lesson 5.